Chatter of birds, two by two, raises a night song, joining a litany of running water. Sheer waters showing the russet of old stones, remembering many rains. And the long willows drowse on the shoulders of the running water and sleep from much music. Joined songs of day end, feathery throats and stony waters, in a choir chanting new songs. It is too much for the long willows when low laughter of a red moon comes down, and the willows drowse and sleep on the shoulders of the running water. Huntington sleeps in a house 6 feet long. Huntington dreams of railroads he built and owned. Huntington dreams of 10,000 men saying, "Yes, sir." Blithery sleeps in a house 6 feet long. Blithery dreams of rails and ties he laid. Blithery dreams of saying to Huntington, "Yes, sir." Huntington, Blithery, sleep in houses 6 feet long. Lay me on an anvil, oh God. Beat me and hammer me into a crowbar. Let me pry loose old walls. Let me lift and loosen old foundations. Lay me on an anvil, oh God. Beat me and hammer me into a steel spike. Drive me into the girders that hold a skyscraper together. Take red-hot rivets and fasten me into the central girders. Let me be the great nail holding a skyscraper through blue nights into white stars. Bees and a honeycomb in the dried head of a horse in a pasture corner. A skull in the tall grass and a buzz of the yellow honey hunters. And I ask no better a winding sheet over the earth and under the sun. Let the bees go honey hunting with yellow blur of wings in the dome of my head, in the rumbling, singing arch of my skull. Let there be wings and yellow dust and the drone of dreams of honey. Who loses and remembers, who keeps and forgets. In a blue sheen of moon over the bones and under the hanging honeycomb, the bees come home and the bees sleep. There is a woman on Michigan Boulevard keeps a parrot and goldfish and 2 white mice. She used to keep a house full of girls in kimonos and 3 push buttons on the front door. Now she is alone with a parrot and goldfish and 2 white mice. But these are some of her thoughts. The love of a soldier on furlough or a sailor on shore leave burns with a bonfire red and saffron. The love of an immigrant workman whose wife is 1,000 miles away burns with a blue smoke. The love of a young man whose sweetheart married an older man for money burns with a sputtering, uncertain flame. And there is a love, 1 in 1,000, burns clean and is gone, leaving a white ash. And this is a thought she never explains to the parrot and goldfish and 2 white mice. The woman named Tomorrow sits with a hairpin in her teeth and takes her time and does her hair the way she wants it and fastens at last the last braid and coil and puts the hairpin where it belongs and turns and drawls. Well, what of it? My grandmother yesterday is gone. What of it? Let the dead be dead. The doors were cedar, and the panels strips of gold, and the girls were golden girls, and the panels red, and the girls chanted. We are the greatest city, the greatest nation. Nothing like us ever was. The doors are twisted on broken hinges. Sheets of rain swish through on the wind. Where the golden girls ran and the panels read. We are the greatest city, the greatest nation. Nothing like us ever was. It has happened before. Strong men put up a city and got a nation together and paid singers to sing and women to warble. We are the greatest city, the greatest nation. Nothing like us ever was. And while the singers sang and the strong men listened and paid the singers well and felt good about it all, there were rats and lizards who listened. And the only listeners left now are the rats and the lizards. And their black crows crying, caw, caw, bringing mud and sticks, building a nest. Over the words carved on the doors where the panels were cedar and the strips on the panels were gold, and the golden girls came singing. We are the greatest city, the greatest nation. Nothing like us ever was. The only singers now are crows crying, caw, caw. And the sheets of rain whine in the wind and doorways. And the only listeners now are the rats and the lizards. The feet of the rats scribble on the door sills. The hieroglyphs of the rat footprints chatter the pedigrees of the rats and babble of the blood and gabble of the breed of the grandfathers and the great-grandfathers of the rats. And the wind shifts and the dust on a door sill shifts. And even the writing of the rat footprints tells us nothing, nothing at all about the greatest city, the greatest nation, where the strong men listened and the women warbled. Nothing like us ever was. Listen a while, the moon is a lovely woman, a lonely woman, lost in a silver dress, lost in a circus rider's silver dress. Listen a while, the lake by night is a lonely woman, a lovely woman, circled with birches and pines, mixing their green and white among stars, shattered in spray, clear nights. I know the moon and the lake have twisted the roots under my heart, the same as a lonely woman, a lovely woman, in a silver dress, in a circus rider's silver dress. The lean hands of wagon men put out pointing fingers here, picked this crossway, put it on a map, set up their sawbucks, fixed their shotguns, found a hitching place for the pony express, made a hitching place for the iron horse, the one-eyed horse with the fire spit head, found a home-like spot and said, make a home, saw this corner with a mesh of rails, shuttling people, shunting cars, shaping the junk of the earth to a new city. The hands of men took hold and tugged, and the breaths of men went into the junk, and the junk stood up into skyscrapers and asked, who am I? Am I a city? And if I am, what is my name? And once, while the time whistles blew and blew again, the men answered, long ago we gave you a name. Long ago we laughed and said, your name is Chicago. Early the red men gave a name to a river, the place of the skunk, the river of the wild onion smell. Chicago. Out of the payday songs of steam shovels, out of the wages of structural iron rivets, the living lighted skyscrapers tell it now as a name. Tell it across miles of sea blue water, gray blue land. I am Chicago. I am a name given out by the breaths of working men, laughing men, a child, a belonging. How should the wind songs of a windy city go? Singing in a high wind, the dirty chatter gets blown away on the wind. The clean shovel, the clean pickaxe lasts. It is easy for a child to get breakfast and pack off to school with a pair of roller skates, buns for lunch, and a geography. Riding through a tunnel under a river, running backward to school to listen. How the Potawatomis and the Blackhawks ran on moccasins between Kaskaskia, Peoria, Kankakee, and Chicago. It is easy to sit listening to a boy babbling of the Potawatomi moccasins in Illinois. How now the roofs and smokestacks cover miles, where the deerfoot left its writing and the foxpaw put its initials in the snow for the early moccasins to read. It is easy for the respectable taxpayers to sit in the streetcars and read the papers. Faces of burglars, the prison escapes, the hunger strikes, the cost of living, the price of dying, the shop gate battles of strikers and strikebreakers, the strikers killing scabs and the police killing strikers. The strongest, always the strongest. It is easy to listen to the haberdasher customers hand each other their easy chatter. It is easy to die alive, to register a living thumbprint and be dead from the neck up. There are sidewalks polished with the footfalls of undertakers' stiffs, greased mannequins, wearing up to the minute socks, lifting heels across door sills, shoving their faces ahead of them. Dead from the neck up, proud of their socks. Their socks are the last word. Dead from the neck up. It is easy. Lash yourself to the bastion of a bridge and listen while the black cataracts of people go by. Baggies, bundles, balloons, listen while they jazz the classics. Since when did you kiss yourself in, and who do you think you are? Come across, kick in, loosen up. Where do you get that chatter? Beat up the short-change artists, they never did nothing for you. How do you get that way? Tell me, and I'll tell the world. I'll say so, I'll say it is. You're trying to crab my act, you poor fish, you mackerel. You ain't got the sense God gave an oyster. It's raining, what you want is an umbrella. Hush, baby, I don't know a thing, I don't know a thing. Hush, baby. Hush, baby, it ain't how old you are, it's how old you look. It ain't what you got, it's what you can get away with. Bring home the bacon, put it over, shoot it across, send them to the cleaners. What we want is results, and damn the consequences. Shh, shh, you can fix anything if you got the right fixers. Kid each other, you cheapskates. Tell each other you're all to the mustard, you're the gravy. Tell 'em, honey, ain't it the truth, sweetheart? Watch your step. You said it, you said a mouthful. We're all a lot of damn four-flushers. Hush, baby, shoot it all. Cuckoo, cuckoo. This is one song of Chicago. It is easy to come here, a stranger, and show the whole works. Write a book, fix it all up. So easy to come and go away, a muddle-headed pig, a bum in a bag of wind. Go to it and remember this city fished from its depths a text, independent as a hog on ice. Venice is a dream of soft waters. Vienna and Baghdad, recollections of dark spears and wild turbans. Paris is a thought in Monet gray on scabbards, fabrics, facades. London is a fact in a fog filled with the moaning of transatlantic whistles. Berlin sits amid white scrubbed quadrangles and torn arithmetics and testaments. Moscow brandishes a flag and repeats a dance figure of a man who walks like a bear. Chicago fished from its depths a text, independent as a hog on ice. Forgive us if the monotonous houses go mile on mile along monotonous streets out to the prairies. If the faces of the houses mumble hard words at the streets and the street voices only say, dust and a bitter wind shall come. Forgive us if the lumber porches and doorsteps snarl at each other, and the brick chimneys cough in a close-up of each other's faces, and the ramshackle stairways watch each other as thieves watch, and dooryard lilacs, neary, malleable ironworks long ago languished in a short whispering purple. And if the alley ash cans tell the garbage wagon drivers the children play the alley is heaven, and the streets of heaven shine with a grand dazzle of stones of gold, and there are no policemen in heaven, let the ragtags have it their way. And if the geraniums in the tin cans of the windowsills ask questions not worth answering, and if a boy and a girl hunt the sun with a sieve for sifting smoke, let it pass, let the answer be, dust and a bitter wind shall come. Forgive us if the jazz time beats of these clumsy mass shadows moan in saxophone undertones, and the footsteps of the jungle, the fang cry, the rip claw hiss, the sneak up and the still watch, the slant of the slit eyes waiting. If these bother respectable people with the right crimp in their napkins reading breakfast menu cards, forgive us, let it pass, let be. If cripples sit on their stumps and joke with the newsies bawling, many lives lost, terrible accident, many lives lost. If again 12 men let a woman go, he done me wrong, I shot him. Or the blood of a child's head spatters on the hub of a motor truck. Or a 44 Gat cracks and lets the skylights into one more banked messenger. Forgive us if it happens and happens again and happens again. Forgive the jazz time beat of clumsy mass shadows, footsteps of the jungle, the fang cry, the rip claw hiss, the slant of the slit eyes waiting. Forgive us if we work so hard and the muscles bunch clumsy on us, and we never know why we work so hard. If the big houses with little families and the little houses with big families sneer at each other's bars of misunderstanding. Pity us when we shackle and kill each other and believe at first we understand and later say, we wonder why, we wonder why. Take home the monotonous patter of the elevated railroad guard in the rush hours. Watch your step. Watch your step, watch your step. Or write on a pocket pad what a pauper said to a patch of purple asters at a whitewashed wall. Let every man be his own, Jesus, that's enough. Let every man be his own, Jesus, that's enough. The wheelbarrows grin, the shovels and the mortar hoist and exploit. The stone shafts of the monadnock, the transportation, the people's gas buildings stand up and scrape at the sky. The wheelbarrows sing, the bells and the blueprints whisper. Two cool new rivets say, maybe it is morning. God knows. Put the city up, tear the city down, put it up again, let us find a city. Let us remember the little violet-eyed man who gave all, praying. Dig and dream and hammer, till your city comes. Every day the people sleep and the city dies. Every day the people shake loose, awake and build the city again. The city is a tool chest opened every day, a time clock punched every morning, a shop door, bunkers and overalls counting every day. The city is a balloon and bubble plaything, shot to the sky every evening, whistled in a ragtime jig down the sunset. The city is made, forgotten, and made again. Trucks hauling it away, haul it back, steered by drivers, whistling jazz against the sunsets. Every day, the people get up and carry the city, carry the bunkers and balloons of the city, lift it and put it down. I will die as many times as you make me over again, says the city to the people. I am the woman, the home, the family. I get breakfast and pay the rent. I telephone the doctor, the milkman, the undertaker. I fix the streets for your first and your last ride. Come clean with me, come clean or dirty. I am stone and steel of your sleeping numbers. I remember all you forget. I will die as many times as you make me over again. At the white clock tower, lighted in night purples over the Boulevard Link Bridge, only the blind get by without acknowledgments. The passers-by, factory punch clock numbers, hotel girls out for the air, TMOs, coal passers, taxi drivers, window washers, paper hangers, floor walkers, bill collectors, burglar alarm salesmen, massage students, manicure girls, chiropodists, bath rubbers, booze runners, hat cleaners, armhole basters, delicatessen clerks, shovel stiffs, work plugs. They all pass over the bridge. They all look up at the white clock tower, lighted in night purples over the Boulevard Link Bridge. And sometimes one says, well, we hand it to them. It is wisdom to think the people are the city. It is wisdom to think the city will fall to pieces and die and be dust in the wind. If the people of the city all move away and leave no people at all to watch and keep the city. It is wisdom to think no city stood here at all until the working men, the laughing men came. It is wisdom to think tomorrow new working men, new laughing men may come and put up a new city. Living lighted skyscrapers and a night lingo of lanterns testify, tomorrow shall have its own say-so. Winds of the windy city, come out of the prairie all the way from Medicine Hat. Come out of the inland sea blue water. Come where they nickname a city for you. Corn wind in the fall, come off the black lands, come off the whisper of the silk hangers, the lap of the flat spear leaves. Blue water wind in summer, come off the blue miles of lake, carry your inland sea blue fingers, carry us cool, carry your blue to our homes. White spring winds, come off the bad wool clouds, come off the running melted snow, come white as the arms of snow-born children. Gray fighting winter winds, come along on the tearing blizzard tails, the snouts of the hungry hunting storms, come fighting gray in winter. Winds of the windy city, winds of corn and sea blue, Spring wind white and fighting winter gray, come home here, they nickname a city for you. The wind of the lake shore waits and wonders, the heave of the shore wind hunches the sand piles. The winkers of the morning stars count out cities and forget the numbers. When Abraham Lincoln was shoveled into the tombs, he forgot the copperheads and the assassin. In the dust, in the cool tombs. And Ulysses Grant lost all thought of con men and Wall Street. Cash and collateral turned ashes. In the dust, in the cool tombs. Pocahontas' body, lovely as a poplar, sweet as a red haw in November or a pawpaw in May. Did she wonder, does she remember? In the dust, in the cool tombs. Take any street full of people buying clothes and groceries, cheering a hero or throwing confetti and blowing tin horns. Tell me if the lovers are losers. Tell me if any get more than the lovers. In the dust, in the cool tombs. There is a place where love begins and a place where love ends. There is a touch of two hands that foils all dictionaries. There is a look of eyes fierce as a big Bethlehem open hearth furnace, or a little green fire acetylene torch. There are single careless bywords, portentous as a big bend in the Mississippi River. Hands, eyes, bywords. Out of these, love makes battlegrounds and workshops. There is a pair of shoes love wears, and the coming is a mystery. There is a warning love sends, and the cost of it is never written till long afterward. There are explanations of love in all languages, and not one found wiser than this. There is a place where love begins and a place where love ends, and love asks nothing. There was a woman loved a man as the man loved the sea. Her thoughts of him were the same as his thoughts of the sea. And they made an old sea chest for their belongings together. Proudly the fedoras march on the heads of the somewhat careless men. Proudly the slouches march on the heads of the still more careless men. Proudly the Panamas perch on the noggins of dapper, debonair men. Comically somber the derbies gloom on the earnest, solemn noodles. And the sombrero, most proud, most careless, most dapper and debonair of all, somberly the sombrero marches on the heads of important men who know what they want. Hats are sky pieces. Hats have a destiny. Wish your hat slowly. Your hat is you. The women of the city where I was forgotten, the dark-eyed women who forgot me, heard me singing, and it helped them the more to be forgetting. And I sang and sang on, helping them to forget in the city where I sang to be forgotten. I slept with a woman 10 men had forgotten. She said I'd forget her and she'd forget me. She said the two of us could sing one song on how bitter yesterday was, and another on tomorrow more bitter yet. The two of us sang these songs. 5 women said they would forget me, since I sang with a heart half broken, since I sang like a man expecting nothing. 5 women have forgotten me. Ask them and they answer, oh, he's dim as mist to remember. He's dim as mist to remember, and oh, he's long gone. Oh, he's long gone. Everybody loved Chick Lorimer in our town. Far off, everybody loved her. So we all love a wild girl keeping a hold on a dream she wants. Nobody knows now where Chick Lorimer went. Nobody knows why she packed her trunk, a few old things, and is gone. Gone with her little chin thrust ahead of her, and her soft hair blowing careless from under a wide hat. Dancer, singer, a laughing, passionate lover. Were there 10 men or 100 hunting Chick? Were there 5 men or 50 with aching hearts? Everybody loved Chick Lorimer. Nobody knows where she's gone. I wish to God I never saw you, Meg. I wish you never quit your job and came along with me. I wish we never bought a license and a white dress for you to get married in the day we ran off to a minister and told him we would love each other and take care of each other always and always, long as the sun and the rain lasts anywhere. Yes, I'm wishing now you lived somewhere away from here, and I was a bum on the bumpers 1,000 miles away, dead broke. I wish the kids had never come, and rent and coal and clothes to pay for, and a grocery man calling for cash, everyday cash for beans and prunes. I wish to God I never saw you, Meg. I wish to God the kids had never come. The policeman buys shoes slow and careful. The teamster buys gloves slow and careful. They take care of their feet and hands. They live on their feet and hands. The milkman never argues. He works alone and no one speaks to him. The city is asleep when he is on the job. He puts a bottle on 600 porches and calls it a day's work. He climbs 200 wooden stairways. 2 horses are company for him. He never argues. The rolling mill men and the sheet steel men are brothers of cinders. They empty cinders out of their shoes after the day's work. They ask their wives to fix burnt holes in the knees of their trousers. Their necks and ears are covered with the smut. They scour their necks and ears. They are brothers of cinders. Play it across the table. What if we steal this city blind? If they want anything, let it down. Harness bulls, dicks, front office men, and the high goats up on the bench. Ain't they all in cahoots? Ain't it 50-50 all down the line? Peat men, dips, boosters, stick-ups, guns. What's to hinder? Go 50-50. If they nail you, call in a mouthpiece. Fix it, you gazumptious landhead. Fix it, feed 'em. Nothing ever sticks to my fingers, nothing like that. But there ain't no law. We gotta wear mittens, huh? Is there mittens? That's a good one, mittens. There ought to be a law. Everybody wear mittens. I would beat out your face in brass. The side of your head I would beat out in brass. The nose, the mouth, the hang of the hair thick over your head, the cool, straight-looking forehead. I would take a hammer and a sheet of brass and beat them out till your face would be set against rain, frost, storm, sea water, and sea salt, against hoofs, wheels, nails, against tidewater, rust, verdigris. I would set your face at a blue crossways of sea beaches, a dream of blue and brass. They all want to play Hamlet. They have not exactly seen their fathers killed, nor their mothers in a frame up to kill, nor an Ophelia dying with a dust gagging the heart. Not exactly the spinning circles of singing golden spiders, not exactly this have they got at, nor the meaning of flowers. Oh, flowers, flowers slung by a dancing girl, in the saddest play the inkfish Shakespeare ever wrote. Yet they all want to play Hamlet because it is sad like all actors are sad, and to stand by an open grave with a joker's skull in the hand, and then to say over slow and say over slow wise, keen, beautiful words, masking a heart that's breaking, breaking. This is something that calls and calls to their blood. They are acting when they talk about it, and they know it is acting to be particular about it, and yet they all want to play Hamlet. Storms begin far back. You can't have a storm offhand, like somebody took a notion and decided a storm would be right, handy to come off now and here. The moan and lash of the winds came out of a place nice for them, nice for their growing. The anger of the waters lay breeding, spawning, pent up and ready to go. The blaze of the prongs, the zigzags of forked fire, they had a long seed time in a womb of unborn flame before they went to town and came howling. You don't know what goes on here, but we'll tell you. The storm now didn't come out of nowhere. It had a starting place, a home and a womb. Far back it began, brother, sister. Far back, sweetheart. Luck is a star. Money is a plaything. Time is a storyteller. The sky goes high, big. The sky goes wide and blue. The Fireborn, they go far, being at home in fire. Can you compose yourself the same as a bright bandana, a bandana folded blue and cool? Whatever the high howling, the accents of blam blam. Can John Smith, John Doe, whatever the awful accents, whatever the horsed whistle hiss, whatever books be burnt and crisp, whatever hangmen bring their hemp, whatever horsemen sweep the sunsets, whatever hidden hovering candle sways as a wafer of light, can you compose yourself the same as a bright bandana, a bandana folded blue and cool? Can I too drop deep down in a pool of cool remembers, in a float of fine smoke blue, in a keeping of one pale moon, weaving out wrath in a pattern woven of wrath gone down, crossing our scarlet zigzags with pools of cool blue, with floats of smoke blue. Can you, can I, compose ourselves in wraps of personal cool blue, in sheets of personal smoke blue? Bach did it, Johann Sebastian. So did the one and only John Milton, and the old slave Epictetus, and the other slave Spartacus, and Brother Francis of Assisi. So did General George Washington, on a horse in a saddle, on a boat in heavy snow, in a loose cape overcoat, and snow on his shoulders. So did John Adams, Jackson, Jefferson. So did Lincoln on a cavalry horse at the Chancellorsville Review, with platoons right, platoons left, in a wind nearly blowing the words away, Lincoln asking the next man on a horse, "What's to become of all these boys when the war is over?" The shape of your shadow comes from you and you only. Your personal fixed decisions out of you and your mouth only. Your no, your yes, your own. Bronze old timers belong here. Yes, they might be saying, shade the flame back to final points of all sun and fog in the moving frame of your personal eyes. Then stand to the points. Let hunger and hell come, or ashes and shame poured on your personal head. Let death shake its bones. The teaching goes back far. Compose yourself. Luck is a star, money is a plaything, time a storyteller, and the sky goes blue with mornings, and the sky goes bronze with sunsets, and the Fireborn, they go far, being at home in fire. Be calm, collected, easy. In the face of the next war to come, be calm. In the faint light and smoke of the flash and the mushroom of the first bomb blast of the Third World War, keep your wits collected. At the information to be given out, after the few days of the fast-moving next war, take it easy, be calm and collected, and say to yourself, first things come first, and after this world comes another. Beware of the matters not to be spoken of. Beware of such matters as must be spoken of. Watch your ears as to things heard often. Watch your ears as to things seldom heard. Pick and choose of what comes to your ears. Select and sift, believe or disbelieve. And on stated occasions, feeling a little high, believe perfectly in the completely unbelievable, thus making, under the tilt and feel of your hat, myths your own, miracles beheld of your eyes alone. "Introducing," said a spieler, winking at a shell. "Introducing Miss Nuclear Fission. A wild gal in her time, and she's going to be wilder yet. And you notice I don't dare touch her. She's that wild." "Introducing," said a spieler with a cockeye at a shill. "Introducing Mr. Chain Reaction, her pal and dancing partner. A hairy brute, 10 billion gorillas in one, and when he tickled you, what gives? Nothing, only you die laughing." So what? So we must be calm, collected, easy, facing the next war. And we can remember the man sitting on a red-hot stove as he sniffed the air. Is something burning? or the Kansas farmer. We asked the cyclone to go around our barn, but it didn't hear us. Or we can turn to the books and take a look-see, and then take a cry or a laugh as it pleases. They say to the books, begin your war, and it becomes something else than you saw before it began. It runs long or shorter than planned. It comes out like nobody running it expected, ending with both sides saying, we are surprised at what happened. A marshal of France spoke like a gambler flipping a card or throwing ivory cubes, saying as though he had finished what might be said, the controlling factor in war is the unknown, the unknown. Wherefore, we take a deep look into the unfathomable and come out with a finger hold on wriggling deductions fished from a barrel of conniving and fructifying eels. The bombs of the next war, if they control, hold the unknown blasts. The bacterial spreads of the next war, if they control, reek with the unknown. The round-the-curve of the earth-guided missiles of the next war, should they control, will have the slide and hiss of the unknown. The cosmic rays or light beams carrying a moonshine kiss of death, if and when they control, will have the mercy of the sudden unknown. We shall do the necessary. We shall meet the inevitable. We shall be prepared. We shall stand before the unknown, aware of the controlling factor, the controlling factor, the controlling factor, the controlling factor, the unknown.